be the answer? Yes or no, right? You should avoid such questions. But what if someone throws a question like that on you? Do you like sports? What would you reply? Yes, I do. And that's where your conversation stops. To keep it moving, you should add more information. You could say that, yeah, I like football. I've been playing football since I'm a young child and my favorite memories are from the school. What about you? Which sport do you enjoy? And then it goes on. And we also have conversation stoppers. Let's say that you're engaged in a really good conversation and your partner is telling you about an amusing story, a very exciting story, and you could be like, yeah, that was funny, and he goes, yeah, and there it's over. But you could also say that, yeah, but I have a more interesting story to tell you. There was a time when you could say something that you have experienced. So this way you can prevent that from the conversation stops, and you can go on with a very interesting conversation. So avoid flat responses, do not ask yes or no questions, and add more information. Take the pressure off. This means that you don't have to force yourself to take the conversation on. You can just let it go on. Let it take the path that it's supposed to take. If you put in too much effort to make the conversation going, then that's where you're actually losing the fun out of it. If your friend is telling you something about their experience and you're actually thinking about what you should say next, that's when you're not listening to them carefully. So there you need to stop, you need to exactly listen to what they are saying, and you don't have to force yourself to go on. So don't be too pressurized when you're in a conversation. But sometimes it happens that when we are talking, there are awkward silences. This generally happens when someone has told you a story recently, when they have shared about an experience, like when they went cycling to the beach or something like that. So when they share that experience and they suddenly stop, which means that they have shared the experience and there's nothing more, you're like, yeah, that was great, and then you don't know what to say next. That's what we call an awkward silence. At that time, you can ask them a more personal question. You could ask them a question like, what did you do on your last vacation? Or where was your last vacation? This way, your conversation will have a fresh start and a new direction. So keep the conversation going, fill in the awkward silences, but you don't have to be pressurized. If you see some slight boredom in the conversation and you feel that you and your partner are getting really bored and you don't know what to talk about next, that's when you can pop in a very general question. Here, you can ask that person about their opinion. Obviously, you should ask this question on a very general topic. You cannot ask a question like, what's your opinion about Africa's political scenario? Because they definitely won't have an opinion on that. And even if they do, that's an even more boring topic to start the conversation on. So you could ask their opinion on a very general topic, like, what do you think about the last movie that you saw? How was it? Did you like it? Or you could ask them, which Paulo Coelho's book have you found the most interesting one? And this is where you can ask them your opinion and get the conversation going further. People can often forget what you spoke to them. Maybe they don't remember what their last conversation was about when they met you, but they cannot really forget how you made them feel. So it's very important that you make a person very happy when you end the conversation. You should leave them smiling on a high. But how can you do that? You can do that by paying a unique and really nice compliment. Now, when I say a unique compliment, I mean that you should not give a very general compliment. For example, if you tell a model that she's beautiful, or you tell an entrepreneur that he's successful, they've heard it so many times and they've got immune to it. So what you should tell them maybe could be something like, your smile makes me feel like I'm at home. This means that, this is a very unique compliment and they may not have heard it earlier. And you would definitely leave them smiling when you end the conversation. So make sure that at the end of the conversation, you give a unique